This is the fall of the final mask, Superastral fulfilled. We're gonna start 2025 with something important and definitive. To begin with, we have already seen that my pictures are copied worldwide, but there is a force in opposition that inverts everything I do and try to erase me, like a satanic shadow, hiding behind millions of masks. But who exactly is behind those masks? The most obvious answer is that it is the God that gives millions in money, resources, people, and fame to the mafias of governments and corporations, using them as puppets in a hive mind that acts like a possessed mass, even if they don't know each other or what they're doing. So this is not just a war against the controlled people, but against the very source of that darkness. That entity is obviously obsessed with me, but what exactly is it? This is something that I have been preparing for months, as usual, and with no help, and it's just a 10% of all that I have to show you. Like always, let's begin. Well, in previous episode, we already saw evidence that the primary cult of occultist governments is dedicated to the Owl Goddess, a representation of the Queen of Hell in the Bible and in Bosch's depiction of Hell. I also mentioned that the mural that copies Bosch was fulfilled in reality, revealing the invisible shadow that wanted to erase me and proving the reality of the invisible spiritual world. In the end, I made a superastral projection of God light into that picture. Well, that picture was fulfilled when shortly after, several people infiltrated with lights, revealing close-up pictures. One even attacked it, and others even fulfilled the pictures from my apocalypse dreams. As I've already shown, this means the projection was real and worked. So now, we will see the complete revelation as that owl in Bosch's work is actually a copy of the devil in Dante's Hell. That is, the occultist owl is the devil in disguise, so that ordinary people don't realize who the god of the ruler is. Imagine if, instead of the owl, they directly display the devil. Remember this every time you see the symbols we will review now. And as I said before, it's not that the animal owl is evil or anything, it's just an animal. It's just a disguise, symbolically, for Dante's devil. First, we'll see how all the symbols of the Owl Club copy Bosch and Dante. The owl of the club copy Ishtar, who is also associated with Venus and Lucifer. The owl of the club copies Bosch, who copies Dante's evil. Bosch's devils are copied by the owl of the club. The dinner beneath the statue, the flame at the owl's feet, the scarab demon, the monarch on the throne, and the copy of the return of Jesus. The ones watching the bonfire among trees to the ducked face. The dragon, in fact, the giant statue has the face of a green snake with wings like a dragon. Bojos in drag is a pun on bujos, which is Spanish for owls, and drag on, even down to the orange illumination in the dark fog. The naked figures on fish, the club's painter copying the god, and the portrait, the slipper next to the kneeling figure, and the dark figure staring at the portrait in the tree under the devil. The connection between the tree and the owl's throne, because the treetops are its nests, kingdom, toilet, and where it fits. Dante's Hell is also copied by the Owl Club. Dante's portrait and the devil eating humans frozen over a hole. There is an ogre doll with the eyes, hands, and face of the owl, the devil, and Ishtar. The ogre is a realistic version of a demon from Bosch Hell. Next to the ogre, there is a painting of a war that is a copy of another painting reproducing the same scene from Bosch Hell. Both to the underworld, hooded figures staring at flames, and a hooded hill. The portraits of the white devil and the black devil represent the painter and the painted, copying the black and white coronation in Bosch Hell. Bosch is known as the painter of the devil, and the Owl Club has painters and painted devils. The paintings of devils reveal the hidden faces of the painted figures. That picture also reveals the method of spiritual projection that the black magicians of the ruling elites used to do evil, the opposite of me. The journalist, who now is infamous for being controlled by the people he started denouncing, who originally exposed the club, says it is an extension of the other secret club of presidents, Skull and Bones. There they disguise the goddess under another name and they must steal for her. Now it's clear why they stole my film, which fulfills the prophecies of God's return. And they distort it. Even this journalist admits that what they do is a sacrifice of an innocent to the Satan to cleanse karmic debts. But I assure you, that is cancelled, and they will receive the full punishment for everything they did. It's funny because the ritual is called the cremation of care, but now they are going to care. Conclusion: the Owl Club is the Devil's Club. In other words, the god of that city is the devil and the god of that government is the devil. Now we'll see how this extends to the entire world. I have already shown that the throne of the Vatican is in a satanic serpent. This is very well known. But now we see that the Christ on the throne is the owl from Bosch, which is Dante's devil, a figure in white alongside another in black, sitting under the giant with the same face and posture. The Kaaba copies the owl's egg from Bosch, which is Dante's devil. People circling around the egg with a mirrored black hole, like the fallen star. The tree of Kabbalah copies the owl from Bosch, which is Dante's devil, the winged demon with eclipse colors, the same owl face with 9 circles like Dante's Inferno. Conclusion: the god of the Catholics, Muslims and Jews is the devil, but they don't show his face directly because it would be too obvious, and the point is that their followers remain unaware. Evangelicals are also included here because most of them are in it for the money and pride, defending the dollar and the fake Israel nation, which is the synagogue of Satan in Revelation that we are living, as we'll see later. I've also given you a preview of how the Freemasons copied my film and how they also copied Bosch Hell. Now let's look at this in detail. They copied the key, the title ladder in the middle of the pillars, the chessboard crowning, the same clothing and checkered patterns, and the demon with the hourglass behind the woman, which is a mystery for many, but now it is extremely clear. You don't have to study anything else. They also copied the pyramid, the eye, the stage, and the symbols of the goddess, Egyptian and Babylonian owl imagery like the eye and the M. In the celebration I preview, they copied the throne with the jar and owl, the fire crown, the blue bubble, kneeling demons, tree of evil, Baphomet, and Dante's devil. Good, now let's look at some governments I've already previewed. The Washington government copies Bosch owl, which we now see is Dante's devil. It even has an inverted cross, and the White House is directly in the mouth of the devil, which is why all the presidents ride in the car called the Beast. The entire government sits in the devil's mouth, exactly as in the painting. We have already seen military insignias with dragons, owls, eclipses, black magicians, etc. I've shown you that the Argentinian president copied the devil of Kabbalah with the black and yellow pyramid, but now we see that shortly after I reveal this, he placed that exact symbol in the government. Of course, not a coincidence. They always do this after I show pictures. We also saw how the coronation with the angel of death that copied me also copies Bosch owl, which is Dante's devil. I remind you, they use the song from the Breakfast Club, which happens exactly on my exact birth date and time. March 24 is also the day before the Biblical Annunciation, and it is also one of the dates of the beginning of Dante's Divine Comedy, and it is a date hated by the biblical synagogue of Satan when they have the most important parades, because in many years on that date it falls Purim, which prophesy its enemy and destruction, like in Revelation that we are living. NASA also copies Bosch Hell, which is Dante's Hell, the circle sphere and the red A, the mirrored head and the giant throne. To make it clear, they add horns so there is no doubt about who they work for. The infamous journey of Admiral Byrd to Antarctica copies Bosch Hell, which is a special dragon club. Even the green Duolingo owl mirrors Bohemians, which is Dante's Devil. Although you learn many languages, which is called polyglot, in this app it's called Duolingo, meaning two tongues, dual tongues, like a serpent's tongue. Conclusion: the god of government is the devil. But they disguise it so it is not obvious to their followers. Alright, let's talk about money. Money, money, money. I have already shown you in detail how the Bank of America mural was fulfilled in the monument manifestation, demonstrating the reality of the spiritual world and how it also copies Bosch's Hell, which is Dante's Devil. Now we see how the monopolies it controls also copy the Black Rock, the Pyramid, and the two ships, which are Dante's Devil. It's already known that the unfolding of the dollar reveals the destiny of such a satanic nation. We already saw that the dollar copies Bosch Owl, which is Dante's Devil. An Orthodox priest even points out that the dollar is a debt note to the synagogue of Satan. I show you that its three pictures in one are the angel of death and the dragon. Now we see it's the same owl demon from Kabbalah and the club. Even the statue shows the dollar shields and form. You can even see the Baphomet, whose pose and phrase are a copy of Jesus but inverted, just as they copy me and invert it. Like the throne we've seen, a single image formed by multiple interior ones. Like the rings of hell, a hologram with multiple faces, like the devil, but a single core. As shadows are the reflection of darkness, as darkness is the absence of light. I know that some think that then China is the solution, but China is a descendant of the dragon and steals from Argentina with allied help, building a dystopian society. So its destiny it is the same as its competitors. How can such an ancient image contain an hologram that matches a statue and more? As if it was technology that came from another world, the underworld. Conclusion: the god of the dollar is the devil, but they don't put it in his portrait directly because it would be too obvious, and everyone would reject it. Now you know why the worst people have so much money and why those who copied me receive millions while I got nothing. In other words, having a lot of money is like collecting trading cards from hell. Hey, I have millions of devil pictures. How many do you have? Only that I got billions. That is nothing. I have trillions. Oh, really? I paint them. Time to pay the debt. Yum, yum, yum. Perfect. Now let's look at the hologram people. In the dollar hologram, you can clearly see a grid forming in the eye and neck of the face. This grid in the eye and neck is the same as the one seen on TV people when the switch to digitalization broke the hologram. This is one of those videos that used to be easy to find, but now it isn't. This grid is like the checkered face of the owls and the visual cortex I already shown you, through which the entities control the possessed individuals. The checkered board forms the face of the robot from the Black Star. The initiate is painted into the Devil's Painted, which uses them like a puppet. It's like those deepfake videos where one controls many. They seem real, but they are not. The same entity in many forms, since ancient times. Conclusion: most people on television are puppets of hell, and behind their faces is the devil. That is why they always show mirages and shadow puppets to deceive and again, until they are too also deceived, because they trusted the serpent that made them trust only to bring them to this moment. And that is why, with great clarity, the moment I stood before the camera, I revealed the truth behind the world, and I reveal and reveal and reveal to the end, to whom those revelations belong. And now, from the moment that I upload this video, this revelation, we will see how all the holograms are going to start to break up everywhere, all at once. Excellent. Now, before we finish, let's look at the monument. We have already seen how the Bank of America mural, based on Bosch's Apocalypse and Parravicini's Apocalypse prophecies, was fulfilled in the manifestation of the monument, even in its architecture. Exactly. And I've shown you, just like the dollar and the chair, the fulfilled mural reveals the hologram of the shadow behind the global theater. Now we see that it copies the black lion from Bosch, which represents the demiurge, and the owl from Bosch, which is Dante's devil. The Statue of Liberty in the monument copies the Babylonian owl goddess. Conclusion: all these fulfillments reveal that these hidden pictures are real, even if they are invisible, like the infrared frequency of a TV, remote laser, or Wi-Fi. You don't see it, but it controls from afar, like the Schumann frequency. The devil behind the red curtain is like seeing the devil behind someone's shoulder. Oh, your dream is to guard politicians? Your dream is to be a politician? Even president? Oh, I know this painting by heart already. Leave the details to me. I'll make your dream come true. And don't forget the ordeal. Very important. That moment, it is a good example of how darkness uses people and then discards them, regardless of their rank. I would really like to see repentance from those people before their master takes them away. I would really like to see this, a definite change from shadow to light. It is extremely important to remember that the manifestation of that day opposed the fraudulent experiment that deceived so many. I already showed how the Corona Theater copied the painting, but as a final revelation, I'll show you that this plan was already painted in Hell's artwork from the start. We see antennas, needles, the egg, the dark crystal liquid, the black mirror, and the world in the living abyss, just like 5G and the pentagram G. The master plan from the beginning was a humanity infected and covered with a living particle of darkness from the abyss. So, while a future unfolds where many will be controlled like living robots, even though the executors don't even realize it, that experiment was designed in mind with the upcoming advance of artificial intelligence. This AI will function as the massive brain of the machine human, fulfilling the prophecies of Parravicini's Apocalypse and the Bible's final kingdom of clay and iron, exactly as in my series, fulfilling picture by picture. Now let's finish with the final boss painter. On that day, because I stood in that place fulfilling the pictures, the other force controlling people, and reality itself was revealed. Additionally, with the tent next to the monument, the painting of Christ's entrance into hell was fulfilled. In fact, that moment of battle is identical to the painting of the Owl Club, which is a copy of an early bloody battle echoing Bosch hell. It shows how humanity history keeps reflecting the same invisible forces of hell over and over, the human stage repeating the source of darkness. But now there is a difference. In the confrontation at the monument, which fulfilled my prophecy series of the Grey Men, there was no bloodshed, even though it was full of agents looking for that against peaceful meditators. Just like in my series, when the agents of the global dictatorship saw bloodshed but were stopped by angels. This fulfilled the prophecy of the return of the vision that revealed how the real and unreal become one in the hour 12, the end of the end. So this is a revelation that comes from the beginning, from the world after the apocalypse. So that it is a small sample of the fulfillment of the prophecies of the instant of the Grey Men, in a growing revolutionary scenario that avoids massive bloodshed in advance. In both apocalyptic paintings, it is revealed how all of this is possible. In Bosch, it can be seen that the elements of nature and humans, although separated, form great shapes together as if they were all controlled by a superior force, especially the shapes of a giant eye. That is only possible because the painter himself manipulated everything from outside the painting. It is the mark of the creator. And the same with the mural. The rocks and landscape form the dragon because the painter himself sees everything from outside, revealing the creator, while the supernatural fulfillment and copies I show you are only possible if there is a superior force revealing that it is the creator of the work. Unfortunately, as much of it is in opposition to me and the truth, it reveals that part of it is the false god of this era. But since I have now completely unmasked, it is time its age to end. As I already mentioned, the fulfilled mural is part of a game of paintings illustrating the return of the original god. And we see that the forms reveals the same dragon hidden in nature. The exact same shape of the monument on the throne can be seen, as well as in the empty tomb. Remember that the monument is also an empty tomb, and it is also seen behind the curtain. I won't be too graphic here, but the tower also has the shape of a male phallus because it represents the seat of the creator spirit. It has a female part because the world receives the spirit of the father that shapes it. Maybe the original designers did not do it with good intentions, but on the day of fulfillment I revealed that principle. I already showed you the shape of the throne and the chessboard. Now I show you that it is also a castle, because it reveals the kingdom. When I stood there, I revealed the two kingdoms, as I demonstrated in the crossing of the fulfilled series. In that instant, my spirit became the filler of the world's soul, as if I penetrated the planet frequency. The spirit, Father Heaven, filling up the soul of Mother Earth. The red curtain reveals the shadow that pulls the string behind the scenes of the world's reality. Precisely, the fulfilled mural has the curtain being pulled back, revealing the change of celestial order in reference to Giotto's painting of the apocalypse. That is, the fulfillment I show you activates the apocalypse definitely, changing the order and aligning it to me. All of that also reveals that in that plane are all the powers, that of the light as well, lamb, lion, return, and army. And it even reveals the reality of spiritual projection, prophesied by Paravicini's throughout humanity and in the apocalypse when God pours his spirit upon his people to give them visions of the invisible world. As I have said before, all of this would be just a mere analysis of drawings if done by anyone else, but I will show you pictures that become reality. That is, they reveal the invisible world. That frequency comes from the underworld, and contains the ghosts or programs or movies of devices, diseases, and death that imprison humanity, rich or poor, small or great. Like in that Lana Del Rey concert, where they also copied my picture and the holograms broke up. That's it, mystery solved, and the entire forces behind the curtain revealed. There are no more symbols to decode or dots to connect. There are no more conspiracies to uncover. This is the center of all conspiracies. All of this, plus the complete occult world design I showed you a few years ago, reveals that current civilization it is that trap designed by the same puppeteer of darkness. It's as if the devil it is in hell watching my series non-stop in an eternal binge watch and reruns, and he commands his demons to copy me in an infernal version. To understand the importance, imagine if no one knew the Mona Lisa, but every month an army of people makes copies with infinite variations, without saying which is the original, just to steal the attention. It's as if I were the number one enemy of the evil one. But unknowingly, so many copies reveal that there is an original source. Why? A small part of the answer is in the original series fulfilled, since part of the science fiction explanation I give in the series for that particular moment is that to produce a massive change using the mathematical formula of the mass meditation experiment for the peace of Jerusalem in 83. So obviously the enemy would be interested in that few people as possible seeing that, especially if my pictures come true. And he would also use that to manifest evil things, even against me, which of course keep failing and failing. And they are turned against my enemies, my Satans. As I already shown you, and have so much more to show you. For example, meanwhile I made all this, a new movie came up amongst many others, which has a tree, a magical spiritual alien tree that make people do things inverted, and like my movie, the tree make people attack each other and do bad stuff as if it was a tree from hell. The opposite of my movie. And you know what is the name of the family that has the tree? Take a guess. Yes, Navarro. Just like my last name. Figure that out. I think it's just another weird coincidence, right? It's not like all those people were possessed. The people that made that movie was actually possessed and used by Satan to make that fake movie that copies and inverted my movie. You see here? Do you see it, right? Yeah, we are beyond coincidences. All that was especially against me. So millions watched that instead of mine. That is clear now. What is going to be the destiny of all those people? And that is only one part, because in the series I show everything spiritual but without talking much about God. Now look at the difference once I incorporated him into the projection. Basically, it penetrated the entire world like the Back to the Future fulfilled. Now it's clear why so many people separated by time and distance were used to copy me and try to erase me. Even though their physical bodies seem separate, their souls are under the same manipulator, who seems to have a special obsession with me. I never saw this coming, of which I've only shown you a fraction. With this, think carefully. Why has not one of the leaders of churches or truth groups show you this? And why did the devil use millions to copy everything from me and try to erase me? While it doesn't do that to them and gives them millions of views, even those who call themselves Christians. If I were a self-proclaimed Christian and saw that the spirit of the world gave me millions of views, or align me, believes they have millions of views, while God says few are chosen, and there is one person the devil uses millions against to copy and try to erase, I would seriously question whether I am chosen. And to the few who are following my revelation, I ask, how many channels, groups for the truths, or so-called churches have shown you even one of the revelations I've shown you for years? What do they need? 5 more years? It is clear they too are puppets of the devil. What I show you today aligns with the biblical beliefs of the God of this world versus the God of the other world, the God of light and the one of darkness. It matches the seal of Satan in the final revelation. Finally, we have the painter of God versus the painter of devil, picture of light versus picture of darkness, the painter of the eternal apocalypse and the painter of the new Genesis, the painter of the end without end and the painter of the end of the end. 2 bloodlines, that of the serpent and that which destroy the serpent. And this will expand to its maximum expression, where you are either in my picture or the devil's picture. What do you think? Should we create this prophetic painting and feed it? Like the fake doctors who insulted the anti-vax? I warn you, all puppets aligned with this will be collected by their creditors because they are not longer needed. This includes those who feed the evil institutions, dollars, the film industry, etc. The same goes for truthers, what I show and don't communicate it while repeating memes. But that is for another video. So, since God has given me the power to make these projections and reveal changes, here we have 2 options. We can project total destruction to the heart of darkness, but this would be reflected in the world with the destruction of the millions who do not repent of their evil. Or I can make another projection with the heart of God to replace the heart of darkness, without destroying anything and replacing the shadow definitely, from within in a final unification so that there is no more hell or death, bringing the 12th hour. Let's see if we can finally have this. Let's see if it completes without having to go through hell on earth. This is the fall of the final mask, superastral fulfilled. This is to start 2025, which according to Ghost Astral Clock doesn't begin until late March. The equinox is on the 20th, the new moon with the eclipse on the 29th. Right in the middle is my birthday, a date the devil seems to have tried to curse since before I was born. Happy 2025.